Well, yeah, and your growth. So what do you really attribute the success of Mudbugs to, and the resiliency, right? I'm not trying to tee you
Man,
up and say it's the people,
it's
right? I mean,
multifaceted.
give me a
It's
good answer.
multifaceted. There's not a there's an all above.
Yeah,
Okay, the community 100%,
yeah,
100%, because you can open up if you don't do a good product. So then I've got a good product. I've got a good staff. I've got great leadership at my restaurant. We don't have bosses, and I hate it when people call me a boss. A boss has to walk around pounding their chest and telling people they're boss. I am a servant leader. I don't ask people to do something that I have not already done or am currently doing myself.
yep,
I mean, in the restaurant industry, the three most important positions are the host, the dishwasher, and the busser. You know, if you don't have a host, you're not getting set, unless you're counter service, in which we are not. And if you don't have a dishwasher, nothing's getting washed, so nothing can be cooked, nothing can be plated. And if you don't have an expediter, nothing's coming out of the kitchen. You know, everybody thinks the general manager and the chef and the bartenders and all that. It's all, we're all gears.
yeah,
And we all have to work symbiotically with each other.
yeah,
And, you know, I'm afforded that opportunity because, again, that's where I'm an awful businessman and a genius at the same time. Awful, I've no idea what the hell business is. You know, I don't know that.
yeah.
But I'm genius 'cause I put the people around me. Mona, Carlos, Janine, DK, you know.
So then you have the idea. So how long into Mudbugs did the idea of J Parks come? Get
Too
born?
fast.
Yeah.
Way too fast.
In that it took kind of your focus away from Mudbugs, or that you rushed J Parks?
It did. I didn't rush J Parks. Has been challenging.
Yep.
And I love a good challenge, but hot damn.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
More challenging times. You know? I mean,
Challenging times, challenging circumstances, challenging.
yeah.
But, you know, if it were easy, then everybody would do it. And I don't like doing things other people have done anyway. I want to try to do things differently, better,
Yeah.
you know. But so anyway, we're looking for locations. We found the location. We got the money. I put my team together and I said, how much time do you need before you pull the trigger at your job and leave? And these are my core people. I need to know you're on board. And if you're on board, it's a done deal. I've got it. And I communicated all along the way. And then we're getting everything. And like you said, I don't watch TV. So I don't pay attention to a whole bunch of anything. And then we're accelerating because people are saying this is fairly serious, and I just need to get open anyway. It's time.
Yeah.
And we get open, the world shuts down, and people are going, man, you just must have hated that. And that's the biggest thing for a year and a half is what I heard. And so my response is just deflected was, and my coping mechanism is humor. I said, don't feel sorry for me. I said, everybody's got a bucket list at the top of mine. My checklist was open a restaurant at the beginning of a global pandemic. Check it off. I don't have to do it again. And so if you look at it from that point of view and you're still putting out a good product and people love what you do, then that's your success. And I say I've never failed in the industry because I've never failed. I've never failed because I've never quit. And I'll find one way to survive one way or another, but I'm done surviving. We're past survival mode. Now it's time to build up and enhance what downtown Buda, it's getting to its fullest expression.
Okay.
All of downtown Buda. I mean, look at what's coming. You know, Brooklyn was there first, and then there's us, and Taste is there. J Parks is now there. I love being part of that. It's almost ground floor of a business, times 2, times 3, times 4 now for me.
Yeah.
And all in the same town. How can you not love an area that fosters that kind of growth?
Well, where did the idea really come from? I mean, was that
For J Parks or for Mudbugs?
for J Parks? I mean, so was it something that you always wanted
Nope,
that
not
Mudbugs
necessarily.
didn't deliver, or what
Not
was
necessarily. When I get an idea for a concept, it's I quote movies a lot, and this is the best way I can tell you how. So you've seen Good Will Hunting, right? So he talks where he's talking with Minnie Driver in the movie, and they're talking about how Mozart could just see music, and he could just sit down, he could just play. And for him, mathematics, he can just see it. For restaurants, I can just see it, and sometimes it's not the whole and complete picture. It's just a little bit, and then I bring my people in, and then we foster, and it grows out from there. And I'm learning to be better with that. A couple of big key mistakes that I've made with the saloon that I'll never repeat. And we'll go over that later, maybe if we have time. I'm not sure, because I've got this girl that I'm crazy about, and she's getting ready to drive up, and I want to tell her that I want to be done in about 30 minutes. So if you'll forgive me for 1 second.
Piece of cake, yeah, absolutely.
Good time.
We are wrapping it up. Be done in. We can be done in 30, right? Can we be done in 30, Jeff?
We'll be done in 30.
Yeah, we've already done 40.
Okay. So the idea for J Parks came when Greg Henry told me that he bought that lot.
Yep.
And he goes, he's got some interest from this lady about doing a beer, coffee, wine thing there. I was like, well, this would be dope for something like a little saloon or something like that. That's it right there. And as soon as I said the word saloon, he goes, well, I'd rather rent to you, than somebody else I don't know. I'm like going, all right, done. Then we walked and we talked some antics and blah, 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 blah. And then so that night forward, I went home. I wrote a menu knowing what the square footage I would be, or square footage I would have. That's it. That's really it. And it's all about the community. When I say that, you can look on the menu. All the drinks are named after very close friends.
Well, except for me and James.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there.
I'll take the Topo Chico.
Yeah.
But,
Topo Jaime.
Yeah.
Topo Jaime.
But I mean, what you're doing there is unique. What you set out there to do was unique. The project is unique. Where did you want to curate an environment? And you don't
100%.
you don't want us to go have drinks. You told me you want us to go there and have an experience.
Yeah.
Like for the people who haven't been there yet, what is that experience that you're trying to curate, and where are you trying to take them to?
Sort of like a grown-up version, and I don't want to say that it's the same as Mudbugs because it's not.
Right.
Mudbugs and J Parks are two completely different. Completely different. They're both repurposed, and that's other than that, and the logo, which that's the correlation between the two. I want them to draw that line. It's completely different entity. Originally, no cell phones.
Yeah.
And I took that up not to be, to tell people what to do with their phones. That wasn't it. The goal was just completely disconnect from everything.
Yeah.
And I get it. We have kids that are learning how to drive. They're out on the road for the first time, and kids that can't drive. You have babysitters, and you want to be there. We provided an emergency line that you could call it, and I get it, and I get it. It's wrong timing, and I think wrong area at the moment, because I'm trying to do. Tim Love's one of my culinary icons. I love what he does. He has Western themed style restaurants. Lonesome Dove is one of his concepts.
Okay.
And he has a place up in Fort Worth called Katarina's. 40 plus seats, and it's a cell phone free. It's the same thing. Put it in a pouch and disconnect. Same thing. You go to a comedy club.
Yeah.
Mothership Comedy Club, Joe Rogan's. You got to power it down.
Yeah.
Put it in a thing. I'm like, man, that's just a cool concept. So we can just disconnect from the lives that we talk about disconnecting from.
Right.
I think it was a good idea. I think it's still a good idea. But wrong time, wrong place, maybe. And I get it. People need to, and even when we were going through, I was like, how am I going to put my phone down? How am I going to adhere to my own policy?
Yeah.
Was not trying to tell people what to do with their phones. Was not trying to make people feel disconnected from needful things. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I have very good friends around me that talk to me, and I don't want to be a martyr. All I want to do is deliver good food to a community that I love, that has embraced me, and that's what J Parks is. I did it once. Let's do it again, but more intimate setting where it's, dare I say, adults only. So just get rid of everything that we need to get rid of, and able to have a an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours,
Yeah.
just to yourself. And it's evolved into, I want to be saloon and standard, saloon inferring no kids. Standard is we want to be the standard. We want to be the flagship. We want to lead in our industry. And I still have that feeling. That's my mantra. And I want that to be seen in my restaurants. So it's not an egotistical thing because I'm not a conceited person.
Right.
I'm the least conceited person you'll ever meet. I love holidays. I don't care about getting things from people, gifts. That doesn't mean hang out with me and have a beer. I want the experience.
Yeah.
I don't want you to buy me a koozie. I don't want you to buy me a T-shirt. Now, if you go somewhere on vacation, somewhere I haven't been
Give me
yet,
something cool.
say, hey, my buddy asked me to buy a T-shirt and I bought it this and this real big print, so I have to wear it. And,
Yeah.
hey, got me a T-shirt and this is what it got me. But J Parks is, and it's still that. It's still that. Even though the phones are in and people are awesome, they turn them off or just silence them.
Yeah.
And even if they don't, it's beyond. I'm beyond that now. I'm so excited. I've got this new chef in, Brian Beach. He's inserting himself this week. And he's doing it in such a way it's very methodical. He's going to hit the ground, and his food is going to be on the plates next week. I'm very, very excited. His last residency was at Kokari's in San Francisco. They gave a glowing report about him. Told me I'd be basically a moron if I didn't hire him.
Yeah.
The busiest Greek restaurant in the United States, $18 million a year.
So can you give me some sort of indication as far as what he's putting on the menu?
We're going more towards the Chop House is not just the name, let's go back to that real quick. Saloon and Standards at J Park's Chop House and Saloon.
Okay.
I want it to be clear as to who we are. I don't want any misconceptions whatsoever. We're taking old things done new ways, and it's a chop house, and it's going to be heavier steak influence, chops and things like that. But the signature items, and he's going to make that small kitchen do crazy, ridiculous things. The kitchen, really, my kitchen, dry storage office, and walk-in refrigerator is probably smaller than this garage.
Yeah.
It's tight.
Yeah.
And so we do very few things, but now we're doing a few more things, and I'm accommodating as best as we possibly can to give the community exactly what they want.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to y'all. It's just like I said, it's not about me. What we did is a foundation to what we're doing now, and just because we don't have an identity crisis, we're not having one. The only thing constant is change. I'm not changing the name again or anything. We're not getting desperate on anything.
Yeah.
We're good. We're really good. The business has just been, beauty is showing up.
Yeah.
I've got a colleague that is putting a fresh set of eyes. He's also a restaurant owner, and he's going to give me some pointers. And I'm surrounding myself with the best people I need to, because J Parks will be successful for the three things that makes Mudbud successful: the community that we serve, the people that we serve, the community that we serve, the people we use to serve my staff, and the product that we serve.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies 100% to J Parks. We're maniacal about doing things right, and we're going to mess up because we are human.
Yeah.
But my attitude has never been, hey, look at me, I'm doing it because this is my way. I'm not Frank Sinatra, and I'm not Elvis Presley. I'm just a guy that has what I feel an unparalleled passion for my industry in a small town that appreciates what eating something and taking you back to another time feels like. And I love the small town. I love this small town.
Yeah, your approach to, I'm even hesitant to call them your restaurants, because like they're passions and they're projects for you. And I really,
100%.
I don't feel like I can say that about everybody's business, but your approach to it is so much around people's experience. It's not, I don't just want to make great food and people to give me great reviews based on that food.
Yeah.
You would much rather them go talk about the time, the ambiance,
Right.
the experience, the people that they met there, the people that they spent that time with. And, one of my favorite stories, and it's not just one story, it's kind of success stories that you've had where these people came in, and because I urged them to disconnect, appreciate the place, I engaged with them, maybe facilitated some conversation, that they experienced one another in a different type of way. And, the phone is such an interruption. TVs are an interruption all the time, and unfortunately, I feel like we've just kind of accepted those as interruptions in our life.
Yeah, and it's okay because I think, yeah, and I sat back and like I said, when I pay attention, when I say I pay attention, I mean I pay attention. I was sitting at Bud Bugs just the other night, and I look around, even though we have the TVs in there.
Yeah.
I look around and nobody's really engaged in the TVs.
Right.
They're all right there. I'm like, and we've already got the. Have you seen that monolithic TV we have on the deck? That thing is badass. It's super cool. So I'll do that. I'm still not going to bring one inside.
I don't think.
It's too small. I don't have the wall space. I'd rather have really good bourbon and tequila on the wall than a TV.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's when Greg told me that and we went in, it really came from there.
Yeah.
And we repurposed everything we possibly could. I want to go back in front of the historical. I want to change the sign on the Austin Street facing to make it more legible.
Mm-hmm.
Again, bending to what people don't, and I can see it.
Yeah.
Again, it's what I want to do, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love when you come into my restaurants. I love seeing when he comes in the restaurants. Billy Jack Mims, he goes into Mud Bugs. That cat eats one thing and one thing only. Wedge salad, medium rare filet on the side, and has a glass of red wine. He drinks those god-awful bourbon Negronis, though, and he tried to give me one once. I'm going, God, nah. I said, you just bought two, bro. He goes, you can't drink that? I was like, A, I do not like Campari. It's super bitter.
Yeah.
But those are those experiences that I have in my own place.
Right. Yeah.
And I purposefully leave my phone in the office. I don't want to be distracted from being in that moment.
Yeah.
As being in the moment, I was talking to one of my yoga instructors. There's 3 girls, the 3 different days that I go at Black Swan in Westgate, and one of them is Cassandra, and she's on a little sabbatical. And I was on her last day. The girl in front of me, she said, you're going to miss us. You're going to miss us. Da da da. And she goes, yeah, I know. Blah blah blah. And I walked up to her and I was like, hey, do me a favor. I said, don't miss us. I say because when you focus your energy on missing us and being here, then you're taking yourself out of the moment that you need to be in to be away from here.
Yeah, go be present.
And you just see people's lights. It's just I'm not a prophet or anything like that, a soothsayer, and I have nuggets of bullshit that come out every now and then. But it just seemed pointless. Like I always talk about being in the moment.
Right.
So here I am listening to somebody talking about missing something that you need to be not distracted from. Don't be distracted from it.
Right.
Be in that moment that you're in. And that's what I want to foster at all my restaurants. And so, I'll put a TV outside. It's done. The phone's in and people are just doing great. I love it. Kids in during the day. I don't have a problem with that. But at nighttime it's adults because that's just, I want that. And y'all want that.
Mm-hmm.
People are finding time for babysitters or finding time to get away.
What's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
Focus on the Mudslinger Mary.
Okay.
I want to as far as restaurants go, the diner's next. That is,
I don't think a lot of people are familiar with that.
So the diner is in a development. It's a Jeff Barton project.
Okay.
Where the flea market is in Kyle, off the access road.
Yeah.
There's that road that circumvents the flea market and the storage unit places.
Mm-hmm.
There's that roundabout.
Yeah.
And the first spoke is North Burleson. The next spoke is Marketplace. North Burleson used to go all the way through. It's now cut off at dead ends. Marketplace does not. So Jeff's mom's house is there. I think I understand that's the only structure that's going to stand.
Okay.
Everything else is going to get leveled, and then he's 4-story condo style apartments. Ours is going to be the anchor for that development. It's a diner. The LLC is Mudbugs Diner, but I'm not going to call it Mudbugs Diner. It's going to have its own identity. Leaning towards my grandfather's name, Chester, but everybody called him Chet. It's 8,000 square feet. The doors.
A large diner.
Huh?
A large diner.
Large diner, but I want to give give my staff a massive kitchen. I got no space for a kitchen in either one of my restaurants. Shoe boxes.
Yeah.
Shoe boxes. And when I say I have a good staff, that's testament to it right there, is because they're working out of tight, very confined spaces, and they do it all day long, every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes we fall to our standards. the guest doesn't know that, but we're the guest is it.
Yeah.
I get emotional when I think about the guest because that's who we strive
That's who you
for
work
every single day. We'll never ever purposely put out a bad product.
Mm-hmm.
But reining it back to the diner, mid-century modern 1950s style diner. We'll do a private dining room that has collapsible doors so we can open it up to the main. Our exterior walls will be collapsible doors and glass anyway because we're right there at the epicenter of the whole place.
Yeah.
The event center, concerts will be right there next to us. So we can just open up a door. You get a free concert right there.
Yeah.
And we have a bar that's upstairs, completely segregated from the restaurant, has its own elevator. And we're right on the other side of a fence, a wrought iron fence or gate from a second story pool. Carlos, my director of operations, one of my very best friends, he is the spearhead for that. He is the diner guru. He's methodical about everything that he does. He's highly intelligent, very pragmatic person. I wouldn't want to do this with.
Yeah.
Could I? Sure. But I have way more struggles. I mean, he's a good yin-yang balance for me. He really is. I'm very emotional. He's very solid.
What's the timeline on something like that?
That's next year, minimum a year from now for us to be open. I mean, I think I might be into 25.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've broken ground or not. Like I said, I've been heads down.
Yeah.
Head down in this project.
There's like 3 really exciting projects. I mean, 2 come through fruition.
They are.
Yeah.
I would love to do, I think there's not a very good representation of interior Mexican.
Yeah.
The closest thing we have to that is Fonda San Miguel, and they are crazy good.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to drive 45 minutes to an hour and a half in traffic to go for that. That's why I want to do what I do here.
Well, I think there's so much in Buda. I mean, I know that I'm
Absolutely.
one of them. I've got no interest in leaving town really. And folks like you guys are making it so I don't have to, to take my wife out for a date or kids out for a nice dinner or whatever.
I was talking to Ashley, just the girl I'm dating,
Yeah.
about Mexican food the other day. And I started thinking, I was like, where can I go in this town and get really, 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 really good non-Tex-Mex? And you just don't find it. And I'm not saying the ones here are bad. They're not.
Yeah.
But I want to ratchet it up just a tad bit. That, and my dad's dad was Chet's Diner, and his mom was Juanita. I mean, I can't get much more Spanish than that, right?
Call it Jefes.
So, I ain't gonna do that. It was a struggle and a half to put my name on this saloon. I wanted to call it Buda Metropolitan Saloon.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing metropolitan about Buda. It's kind of slapping the face to big cities.
Uh-huh.
But Greg and Lisa were in another city on vacation, and first initial, last name, last initials, a thing. And I said no at first, and then I thought about it and still thought it was stupid. And I told my friends, and then Greg and Lisa were telling everybody, "Oh man, they're going to stop telling people that's what I want to call it." And then it just, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then it's evolved in the Chop House and Saloon.
Yeah.
It boils down. It's sometimes things get convoluted. What is my purpose? I don't know what my purpose is. What is my function? My function is making good food, putting good people around me to help make that good food, and that good food, put them in a good environment, and then let the service give them an experience that they want to come back to it with different friends. Come to us for when you celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
Come to us when you're celebrating somebody's life. Come to us when you celebrate somebody's cast getting taken off or friends you haven't seen in forever. Celebrate a new job. Celebrate just for the hell of celebrating.
Yeah.
Sideways is a cult classic movie that I love. Virginia Madsen in that movie says, she asks Miles in the movie, Paul Giamatti, when are you going to open up that 69? And he was like, I'm waiting for a special occasion. She's like, when you open up the 69, that is the special occasion. Make when you come to the restaurant, make when you come to the Chop House the special occasion.
Yeah.
My prices aren't stratospheric. It's high quality food. We have bison tenderloin, and check out what I just got a line in. Access deer. Access deer. I got access deer, y'all. Access deer. You know how hard that is to find?
No.
You know how incredibly expensive it is?
No.
I've got it.
What are you making with Axis steer?
The tenderloin. I want to
Okay.
show the tenderloin. And we've got, I think we've got some backstrap coming in.
Did the rabbit enchiladas take off?
Those were so good that we sold out.
Did you?
Yeah, we sold out. We make small quantities of things because we have 31 seats inside.
Yeah.
You know, when I say it's an intimate experience, it's an intimate experience.
Yeah.
And I want people to come in and enjoy themselves and take their time and come to the patio. The ultimate goal is to enclose that patio in a pergola with solar shades and louvers on top, but still keep it aesthetically pleasing. You know, I don't want to turn off the curb appeal.
Yeah.
I want to create more of that. You know, me in a nutshell. You know, like I said, you know, let's go back to 1984 real quick, and
Yeah. And then we'll have come full circle.
it's after my summer break. Of course, I didn't save any money in Dallas, but I had the one thing that I wanted, and that was the jam box. And then I had the experience and the knowledge and that I gained from my first job. And then when I got back home, you know, the trendy thing is Jordache jeans were taken off. They had crossed over from from female to unisex.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the thing. And I wanted a pair of Jordache jeans. I asked my dad, "Can I borrow $60?" And he was like, "What do you want $60 for?" I had this exact same conversation with my aunt 3 months earlier.
Yeah.
Do y'all not talk? I want something. And I was like, "I want a pair of Jordache jeans." And he was like, he had the paper, and he folded the paper down. He had his glasses on. He was looking down at me. And he was like, "I ain't giving you $60 for a pair of jeans. If I want to buy a pair of jeans for you, we're going to go to Sears, Pennies, and $9.99.
Yeah.
A pair of Levi's." I was like, "No, I want Jordache." She goes, "Then go get yourself a job and get your own money and get your pair of $60 jeans." So I did. Lied on my application, said I was 16. I was only 15. Got a job at McDonald's. My first paycheck, I made more than enough to get my pair of jeans. And I bought those pair of jeans, and they were the most uncomfortable creep up into the netherworld jeans I've ever put on my life. And I never wore them again after that. I took them back to the shop, see if I can trade them in. I got my money back for them.
Maybe that's your single failure.
No, because I didn't quit wearing jeans. I just wear Levi's. It's the only jean I tried wearing Lee's, and Lee's, you know, they're just not comfortable.
Yeah.
After McDonald's, I got fired from McDonald's because I couldn't run the Big Mac bun station fast enough. That's a real thing, or it used to be anyway.
Yeah.
Because the middle piece gets toasted on both sides, and the top and the bottom get only toasted on one side. Whatever.
It's insider
I walked 3
information.
miles, mind you, I'm 15. Walked 3 miles, State Road 3 from McDonald's to Wendy's, and I walked in McDonald's uniform. Tony Kimbrell was the general manager of the store that time. He walked in, and I walked in. He was behind the counter. And he looked at me, and he was like, "Well, if you're here for your shift, you're in the wrong restaurant." And I said, "Nah, I just got fired about 25 minutes ago." No, it wasn't 20, about 40 minutes ago. It's 3 miles. So anyway, then he goes, "What'd you get fired for?" And I was like, "I was told I couldn't run the Big Mac bun station fast enough." And he just started laughing. He looked at me, and he goes, "That's a real thing?" And I said, "That's a real thing." And he was like, he sat down, and we talked for a few minutes, and he asked me if I was good at what I do, and I said, "Well, tell me, what do you need done? And I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'll do it hopefully better than anybody else has." And he goes, "Well, I just had a girl cook quit. So when do you want to start working?" I said, "When do you want me to start?" He goes, "Be here tomorrow at 4:00. And I said, "All right, get out of school. I'll be 4:30. He goes, "All right, make it 4:30. And then a few months later, when I turned 16, I told him, "Hey," I said, "Just turned 16. Just want to let you know. I lied to get a job. Sorry." He goes, "Don't lie to me again." He was a little bit pissed. He was a little bit more animated than that, you know. And ended up becoming the youngest manager for that franchise. When I was 17, I transferred down to Pensacola when I left and went down there and just wanted to get out and do something different than fast food. So I became a jewelry salesman in Cordova Mall, this place called Danielle's Jewelers. Was there for a hot minute. This guy was hired to be the manager of the store. I was just a sales dude, and his name was Charlie Smith. Became a very good friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in years. He was like, "Hey, you should go get it," because he knew the store was closing. He goes, "The West is going to close the store. You should think about doing something else. You're a hell of a salesman, man." He goes, "Waiters are salespeople." You know, he goes, "Deanna and we go to Red Lobster twice a week." We leave them $10. I'm like, well, that's rented out, so it was worth a damn, you know. And if it was when it was worth a damn, it was worth a damn. It was my favorite restaurant when I was a kid growing up. Where you want to go for your birthday? Red Lobster. I want to get that big red lobster in front of me.
It's my first restaurant job.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was my first fast casual sit down job.
Yeah.
And so I walked in. I got an application. I went home, filled it out, came back, and walked in. There was this girl behind the hostess counter. Her name was Elizabeth Wells. She was the manager, service manager. Handed her my thing, and it had really McDonald's, Wendy's, and Danielle's Jewelers on it. That was it.
Yeah.
And I said, I've got an application. I'd love to apply for a server position. And she goes, have you ever waited tables before? I said, not a day in my life. She goes, you got 15 minutes. Impress me. We talked for 90 minutes. The very last thing that she said to me as we walked out, she goes, congratulations. She goes, I said, thanks for giving me the time. I appreciate it. And she goes, I just have one thing to say to you. She goes, if you can bullshit your customers the way you just bullshitted your way into a job, you're going to go far into the industry. I was like, I would love to find Elizabeth Welsh to this day. If that's still her name, if she's still alive, I have no idea. Cool manager. I loved working for her. And she gave me the first chance at fast casual. And then I just went to Applebee's, worked my way up into management there. Got a taste for fine dining, and then really never looked back. Went to culinary school to learn the business end of it, not to learn how to cook.
Yeah.
Less than 2% really from whatever culinary to jobs. But my drive is I hate disappointing people. Mm-hmm. And I hate disappointing people with food because I know what it's like to be disappointed by meal and service, and people hinge their happiness on it. Yeah. They just do. There was a Father's Day at our second Father's Day at Gumbo's, and there was this guy and Carlos. I was sitting at the bar, and Carlos goes up to this table and he goes, "Hey, how's everything so far? Father's Day, mind you. Family's there." And this guy goes, There's not enough sausage in my gumbo." Carlos, not a problem. We'll take care of that right away. I'm not going to go heat up more sausage. I'm going to go get a fresh bowl, everything to the. And he takes the bowl back, and they put double the amount of andouille in it, same amount of seafood. Go back and gives him. They call it the Chuck Woolery. 2 bites, 2 minutes. Yeah. He was a host for a game show back in the day. Yeah. He was back in 2 and 2, and that's what the commercials ran back in the day. It's called the 2 and 2, 2 bites, 2 minutes. And so Carlos goes back, and the guy goes, he goes, "How's the gumbo now?" He goes, "Now there's not enough seafood in it." "I'm just so angry." Like that. And I'm hearing this from the other side of the restaurant going, what the hell is going on over there? And Carlos, then he explained that to me. I was like, I know, I heard it. I'm like going, you hinge your happiness on a meal. I was like, boy, your issue's not with the gumbo, bro. Yeah. It's something more rooted than that, but that's okay. I don't mind being that whipping boy. Bartenders, you're the psychotherapist, you're the shrink, you're the doctor, you're the marriage counselor. You're everything behind the bar. And that's what we choose to do, though. We're in the hospitality industry. I think a lot of people have lost that. The younger generation, I feel, certainly have. Not in my businesses. Some of them, it's completely evident. Kids just don't care. It's a job, it's a way to get away from home. It's an excuse to hang out with friends, blah, blah, blah. And I get it, but I don't get it.
Accept it, tolerate it.
I had my grandfather that explained things to me as a kid. My dad taught me, and my aunt taught me the value of a dollar. Mm-hmm. They're not going to give me shit. They're going to give me the opportunity to get myself in there to get the paycheck. Yeah. Give me that. Give me the opportunity. And then if you want to see me achieve it faster, tell me I can't do it.